So today I'm going to talk about mortgages because we absolutely love and get so carried away with our passion for renovating. Often we go a bit sideways with our strategy. Once you getting close to your 50s and 60s, then you want to think about getting rid of your mortgage. The last thing that you want to do is be retiring with a mortgage. I have no problems with having mortgages on investment properties, but you do not want that on your family home. There are quite a few ways that you can get rid of that. And of course, being a renovator, you are in the box seat to be able to pay down that mortgage quite quickly. Now, of course, if you're planning to downsize, then often that's an opportunity to get rid of the mortgage just by renovating and selling, so you increase the takeaway cash and then buying something that you can buy outright. But if you don't want to do that, then the second way is maybe when the nest is empty, reconfiguring so that you can derive an income from part of the family home to pay off the mortgage. And the third way is to put your renovating profit into it. Stephen and I are planning quite a substantial renovation on our home because we've decided we wanted to put a lift in and make it age friendly for when we don't feel like running up and down 4 flights of stairs. Actually, I don't feel like it now, but I sort of think it keeps me fit, so I shouldn't shy away from it. But I have no intention of coming out of it with a mortgage because at our age, I don't want to have a mortgage. So all my profit from my projects is going into that project so that we don't create a mortgage out of it. Interestingly, I think we paid off our mortgage about 3 times in our lifetime, and every time we would go and buy, I shouldn't say a better house, but a more expensive house, which is something that often happens, but I think that's quite a good thing because you climb the property ladder without putting too much into the treasurer's pockets by not having to pay tax on your profit. Now, if you're doing that repeatedly and quick turnovers, then there will come a time when you do have to pay tax, but we have done it quite slowly, and that's a great way to build equity. As I often say, a lot of the property gurus say your family home is not an asset, where we know that the family home, provided that we're smart about it, absolutely is an asset. And seriously, for the majority of Australians, it is pretty much all their wealth is tied up in their family home. So it makes sense to be smart about it and make sure that you use it to your advantage. So for the whole of our renovating, the time that we've renovated the last 35 years, the family home has really underpinned everything we've done, and it's enabled us to go off and do other projects. And by building the value of that home, that gives you a lot more, we call it the bucket, a lot more leverage to be able to do other stuff. Now, of course, you need to be careful, but I think it's a good reminder that there's that sense of, this is my family home, I can't put that at risk. That's how we should be looking at every property that we buy. And I think it's a good reality check to remind you that there are serious risks with buying property, and moving forward cautiously is always the best thing to do. Over the last week, I have been to Melbourne and back. I went to Victoria, and over the weekend, Stephen and I stayed with Hannah, our oldest daughter, and she's talking about buying a holiday house. So we did a bit of looking at property down on the peninsula, and then we went to lunch at a beautiful restaurant in the Yarra Valley. It was divine. And then I spent a couple of days with my mum in Echuca. While I was there, my younger brother collared me, and I reckon we looked at about 10 properties because he's quite keen. He wants to do a couple of projects, and I won't be doing them. We've got a couple of students in Echuca, so I'll be talking to them about being my eyes on the ground. But that's exciting. So he's bought one, And so that's going to be the first project. And yeah, so he's looking at somewhere to live plus buying some others for income. So we went through and looked at probably 7 or 8 properties. One of them was a development site, which in the beginning looked quite good, but by the time I had done the numbers on it, it just didn't stack up. That's the thing. If a site is on the market, particularly somewhere like Echuca at the moment, where property is really hot, a lot of people from Melbourne are coming up to buy, and it's on the market for a length of time, usually the reason that it's still on the market is because it's too expensive. And that was certainly, when I did my numbers, I found that was the case. In development, I would not go anywhere near it unless it was at least 20% profit. Thankfully, he's canned that idea. I've been planning the next 12 months and feeling extremely empowered. Nothing like planning to put wind under your wings. And so when you know where you're going, the rest of it is easy. And yeah, so that's been my life in a nutshell this week. That's it. And I'll see you same time